I was thinking about how I got into this work. With my friends here, they helped me kind of understand. My dad was really embarrassing, okay? I mean, I think dads have to be embarrassing. But mine was on a different level. He couldn't be anywhere without talking to everyone around him. And I was just kind of so embarrassed. But I'd see that actually people responded brilliantly well. Their eyes lit up. You'd get people in the shopping queue dancing. So this embarrassment made me, in some ways, force myself to kind of try and cross those boundaries. When you must have come on a plane, on a train, you wonder, are you going to talk to the person next to you? And that's quite a big step for some of us. I think I'm not like my dad, I'm quite different. But I found my own way of doing this as well, of trying to cross some of these invisible boundaries. And I've seen the power of bringing people together and what that can do in a fun way. So I think that's really inspired me. I mean, here we're talking about technology for peace. So let me tell you about some of the technology that we use. The first piece of technology is very ancient and beautifully designed. So it's a stick, and it's not a stick for hitting people. You must be peaceful. No, it's a talking stick. And it's a way that we use for making sure that everyone in the room, whether they're the richest or the poorest person, they've got an equal space to be able to speak and be heard. And that's essential for us. The second is an invention. I suppose somebody thought, let's put a lead inside the stick. And drawing, the power of using images. This is a project in Ghana. It's the first time this lady ever held a pen. And I mean, she's drawing better than me already. So everyone can draw, and it's a very useful process to get into a different kind of creative space. And the third one is this, and this is what we're known for, the video camera. So this in itself is just a piece of technology. It's really, when I pass it over, that it becomes something else, and I let go. You can hold it. And then it's up to you to frame, what does peace mean to you? What does it mean to your neighbour, or to your brother, your sister, your friend? And you will show us what ideas you have, what's already happening in your community. So we've done some calculations. We're not just artists, we're scientists as well. We've worked it out. Yeah, a picture's worth 1,000 words, so how much is video worth? And this is the answer. Here we see Baka group in Cameroon, in the deep forest. Where they live, there's the Bantu population, the Baka population. And the Bantu perceive the Baka as very little more than animals, often they talk about them. Just almost slave labour. It's incredible. And so how astonished they were, not only that they could even hold a camera, that blew them away, but that they could actually film the Independence Day activities, that they could go into the county council, access that space, not only walk in there, which they would never have done, but actually go and interview the local councillor. So for us, video is a key, which can really open spaces, create new relationships. So you've seen what we do, the kind of work that we do with build-up in CAR. We also use this for monitoring and evaluation. So we were asked by UNICEF a couple of years ago. They came to us and they said, we're doing these great projects with great partners. There's change happening, transformation's happening, but how do we communicate that? How do we learn from it? What is working, what isn't working? And so that's why we use participatory video with another methodology called Most Significant Change. It's a way for the beneficiaries themselves. And this was a question we had yesterday. What does transformation mean? And I love the answer. I don't know. It depends on the person, on the groups. Let them tell us. And they do tell us. They can tell us. And we've been doing this for 16 years. And we can see what transformation means for these communities through the sharing of their stories. This is a critical point in the process. Stefan's story has been selected by a group of his peers. Everyone shared their story. His story was selected as the most significant. And so it was then filmed, and now he's watching it back. So we're seeing a little bit of the mirror effect here. But also, he's got to choose. Does he share this any further? There's consequences about that. He'd undergone a big change from a child who was playing with guns at the age of 8 to involvement in the 2011 election violence. and then gangs in school, and he'd moved through that. But was he ready to share this? And he didn't have to. He could have made an animation with it, he could have decided not to. The community, the people who film this, the people who speak, they're in complete control of what happens to that content. So that's the lock part of what I wanted to talk about. There's the key and there's the lock. He did decide in the end to share it, and he could have changed his mind, and he still can at any moment. And it started being shared with his peers, with parents, and each time we're finding out more information. Here we've got the politicians from the Ministry of Youth and Ministry of Education. They've watched 5 or 6 films, and they're choosing his film as the most significant. And he was hearing them talk about why this marked them, what was it about his story. All that data is collected as well, and all of it can be analysed. Again, it's analysed by the beneficiaries. One thing that we found out, we learned about what is working and what isn't working in the projects that UNICEF are doing around the world with different partners. What's working? Bringing people together, clubs, peers, games, exercises. A lot of their transformations were sparked by simple games. What isn't working? One of the things that really shocked me, one of the barriers to peace, mentioned again and again, fathers. And it's very sad. And it touched me because I thought about my father, who's been such a great role model for me. He's encouraged me to share with you that we must go across these invisible boundaries. I think for systemic change, that's what we need to do. And with this participatory video method and other of these participatory methods, we can do that in a playful way. The last thing I want to say is we're using technology, and if we can use that in an arena of participation, of creativity, of handing over, then we're unlocking all these other invisible tools. And they're the ones I'm interested in. I don't care about the camera. It's those that I'm interested in. And let's think about the tools that we're using and what are the invisible tools and how we can bring them out through participation. Okay, thank you.